next? Yup, that's happening. Amazing original content.
Camera's all right there.
Behind the scenes, behind the backs, pre-game fits, and all the action in between, all personalized just for you. It's all happening in the NBA app.
Welcome back to the NBA 2K24 Summer League here in Las Vegas, Boston. Right now, down by 1. As we take a look at their previous season, a little bit of a recap, finishing 57-25. They were first place in the Atlantic Division. Tatum and Brown, obviously the highest scoring duo in the NBA.
And people want to break them up. Really?
Well, Coach, I mean, they want to win. They've reached the Eastern Conference Finals in 5 of the last 7 seasons and haven't been able to get over the hump.
Well, let me ask people this question. If you don't get to the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals, how are you going to win a championship? You got to get there.
Yeah.
Right? And we've seen in the history of this game how many great teams have been on the outside looking in, getting close, and when they finally get that breakthrough, they run off 2 or 3. And if you look at this Celtics team, and Tatum and Brown, they are young, they're talented, they're big, they're athletic, and I would not break those 2 up because you know how many teams for the last 5 years would trade their success, Boston success compared to theirs?
Yeah. Well, this is a franchise that has a great history of winning and wanting to definitely hang another banner in the rafters. Already made a trade and have some...
Hard to hang banners when you can't make the play.
Absolutely.
People, they didn't win, but guess what? You got to buy a lottery ticket to win, right?
That's true.
Okay, well, you got to get in the playoffs to win.
Now I want to buy a lottery ticket. They sent Marcus Smart to Memphis and Kristaps Porzingis to sign a veteran extension as well. So a few new faces for the Celtics. As this one comes to an end as Baldwin was blocked by Sotto. That will do it for the first quarter as things come to a close here at the Thomas and Mack Center.
YouTube TV is more than cable for less than cable. And who doesn't like more? Just ask anyone who loves basketball. And they'll tell you, there's no such thing as too much of it. Watch more games at once with Multiview on YouTube TV. YouTube TV, it's more than cable for $600 less than cable. Try it for free.
Are you over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity in the next 60 days? I have some important news for you. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. Call now for this free book on maximizing your income in retirement. Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers from leading financial firm J.D. Mellberg. That's right, free. This book reveals little-known truths about annuities in simple-to-understand terms. Grab a pen right now because we're about to offer you this free book that unlocks the 5 little-known truths we believe baby boomers and seniors should know before buying an annuity, and it's free.
Call 800-834-8152.
As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report. We researched numerous products and summarized rates and benefits of annuities, all from Silac Insurance Company.
Call 800-834-8152. That's 800-834-8152.
Call now.
Back here in Las Vegas with Jay Scrub. First of all, scoring was tough to come by early, but you guys got it going. What's the key here in the second quarter to really keep that offense rolling?
Just picking it up on the defensive end. No, Sasta's not going in right now, but just trying to pick it up on the defensive end.
I appreciate it. Good luck.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Guys, they're trying to make it work on the offensive side for sure. Gordon brought that to the attention of Scrub, but he's got 6 of the 16 for Boston so far, and I think too is what we've seen from Reggie Kisulo from the outside has really put them in a place where you just need to see one go down.
Yes, get that confidence. These guys wouldn't be here unless they were good players.
He pulls up on the right. That's the bottom of the net.
Now they're picking it up.
Okay. The drive baseline just out to the right. And as we said, when you see one go down, that's what it really comes to.
Baseline drive, baseline drift. Good play.
on the play to the rim.
That's a tough pass to handle, though. Over the shoulder pass, fast break. You're running out of real estate.
But you can tell just how the pace of play for both sides are really just saying, how do we pick this up? Sotto trying to draw the foul off the front of the rim. You can tell every time he touches the ball, everyone wants him to score.
Yeah.
Drive on the inside, dished off. That's a nice little flush underneath. Doka is a whoopie.
Yeah, if he makes the team, can you look at the front line guys that Boston have? Robert Williams, Al Horford, Azubuike, and they got some more bigs on that roster.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Nice give and go.
Yes. Good basketball. That's Boston Celtics basketball right there from the old days.
Sharing is caring. Nine assists on 10 made field goals, Coach. And Boston right now on a 7-0 run after that pep talk from Lauren Jabara. It was a floater short that was popped up around, and you could tell everyone was trying to figure out where the ball landed. It will stay underneath.
And transition, give and go, great play, just basic basketball, but something that coaches never get tired of seeing.
Michael Mulder at the rim. At the finish there is Baldwin, has 8 to work with at the top of the key. 2 left, Baldwin had to heave it and misses the mark on that one. That'll be a shot clock violation for Boston.
See, Angel, I don't like that play because early in the shot clock, after that deflection, if you watch how Sotto is playing defense, he's playing center field. And one thing Baldwin's got to do, he's got to recognize that Sotto is playing back in short clock. He can come off that screen and he's got to be ready to let it go.
Absolutely. Sotto once again still trying to get into a rhythm on the offensive end. Now 0 for 3 from the field. Davidson on the other side.
He's been listening.
10-0 run for Boston.
If Soto's going to play defense like that, you can get a shot every single time if you're Boston.
So right now, Boston outscoring Orlando before that bucket, 12-2. So now 12-5 in the second quarter. Davison once again off the hardwood. Back-to-back buckets.
You can't let a guy with his dominant hand get that deep all the way to the basket before I can touch the layup.
Davison once again with the rock. This time sends it out. Back to Greasel. Underneath, and yeah, there was a lot of contact there. So he'll get 2 free throws.
Here's Davison right here. I like this move. Look at him use that screen and roll right there. Understand the defense is playing back. Easy wide open shot for the 3. Knocks it down. And then he comes back again in transition. You guys are not going to defend. I think I just dropped you off at the bar.
We're back. Jesse, for $500. Let's find out. Can you take it? You're going to want this.
What?
Start the clock and go. Hair from the drain. My drain. That rap song you recorded in secret. Yikes. Ooh, salmon. We heard you're allergic. I can't take it. Oh, Mimi, you ready? No. There's an easier way. You can get up to $500 in 5 minutes or less when you download Dave.
Finally cracked this Jimmy John Summer Raps case wide open. All right, what do you got, eh? Cracks wide open. Greens analyzing flavors. Voila.
He's good. Is she? Jimmy John's summer wraps are back for a limited time.
What's the comma guarantee?
It's sort of like a card fairy. If you don't get approved for a credit card that has the karma guarantee, the card fairy will slip $50 under your pillow. Get approved or get $50 on offers with the karma guarantee.
My basketball journey began in high school. As a kid, I wanted to be a point guard. As I got older, I realized that my forte was shooting the basketball. Coming out of college, they called me Great Scott. And then my rookie year in Orlando, I made 3 threes in a row with Paul Porter, who was a PA announcer in Orlando. He yells out, "Great!" Then he stops. He goes, 3 D. Look over, I go, here I am now, 3D on NBA TV.
These guys are playing for the bling.
Wow.
You like it?
Yeah, I did for Summer League.
Did you? Yes. Just recently added the ring to the table, and now you can walk away with some hardware.
But the question is, how many guys gonna sport their Summer League championship ring?
I would right off the chain, or maybe,
Yeah,
you know.
we'll wear it on the finger on the chain. Bless it. People, we as NBA people gonna laugh at you. You walking around with Summer League championship ring on. But you could say it's the prelude to the real game.
I can see that. Lauren, you got more? Sam, I know that you were coaching an AAU game earlier today. Did your boys win a ring like that, or not quite?
And we actually got beat today by Bryce James. LeBron, youngest, got beat by, I think, 4 points today. And a very spirited game. So it was fun, though.
Spirited game.
Yeah, we lost today, so we won't be getting the blame.
No blame, but hey, you still got your dignity. That's all that matters.
Hey, we gonna get a win tomorrow. We play tomorrow also now. I'd rather have a win than my dignity. But you know what dignity do in the NBA? If you lose it, you're hungry.
No participation trophies here.
None.
It's a great question, Lauren, because, you sound just like the coach. They always say, the best thing about the NBA, there's always a game tomorrow.
That's right. That's what you gotta look forward to.
So Boston right now, up 6, as we're looking at the goaltend that was at the rim here, and
Yeah, he's gotta let that one go. I used to get angry with my teammates goaltend my made basket. And we taking food off my plate.
I understand that. Wash.
You see why Boston likes him, right?
Absolutely.
The fans drive the ball to the basket, and he can knock down threes at a 39 to 41% clip. He will find a home.
Celtics now 7 for 9 in the quarter. But a lot of this, though, what we're seeing from the offense is coming from the bench. 18 of their points are from the committee.
Yeah, you like that. Because, again, there's no starters on the floor right now for the Boston Celtics. These guys, and that's a great shot by Wash, but these guys make that active roster. They're going to be role players. And as a coach, this is even better if the guys can come off the bench in Summer League and be productive.
That one off the mark. Pulled down by Baker. Baker now with 5 rebounds in this contest. I mean, how awesome is Jordan Walsh?
Look at his defense. Look at that. He's a one-man press, isn't he?
Fake. Rolls around and finally drops. Hughes needed every inch of the AC.
Yeah, these soft rims. These are some forgiving rims. Where was these rims at when I played?
Oh.
Ooh.
And a foul on the other side, so Azubuike will step to the free throw line for 2. The bench for Orlando is saying, hey, that was all ball.
Well, I think they thought he traveled before he made that move. The question is, did he drag that pivot foot? Because he was definitely fouled now. He may have a slight concussion because he got whacked pretty good. Only question is, did he move that pivot foot?
You saw on the bench Anthony Blackfoot, Howard Keat, Vaughn Harris, and Caleb Houston not dressing out as we look at the Summer League action continues tomorrow in Las Vegas on NBA TV, ESPN, and the ESPN app. ESPN tomorrow, Brooklyn versus Cleveland. That'll be at 4 o'clock. And then on ESPN2, Utah versus Houston will kick things off at 6 o'clock, Miami and Portland at 8. So Los Angeles Lakers versus the Clippers. Everyone's going to want to see that as well. That's at 10 p.m.
Yeah, that game is normally packed.
Will you be in the booth?
I think we will be.
I think so.
Is that one of our games?
We'll have some time, Coach. You might be able to slide through.
Hey, we made it. We made it. Tell me how it is. After back-to-back games,
I hear you.
I may need a rest.
Weatherspoon tries to connect underneath, gets a turnover there. We're less than 4 minutes in this one. In the second quarter. First half where Boston, in the second frame, has been able to put up points.
Nice.
Walsh, dish on the inside. Azubuike almost got one, but comes up with the turnover off the double-dribble.
But, Andrew, it doesn't matter how the play finished. The question for Boston is, look at this young man, Watch. He's showing you all his moves, his ability to get to the paint, and then drop the pass off like that. Because you got to think about it. This may be a drop-off to Robert Williams, Al Horford, Porzingis. So, again, Watch is showing himself well in this summer league.
Right now, I've outscored, 18-8. Walsh said if you can play off of me, that's a bad idea.
I think, what's that, second three?
Walsh now 2 for 3 from distance.
Yes. I got a strong suspicion he's going to be on that opening day roster.
I mean, how hard he's working. And two, you got to think about the culture established already
Yes.
by the franchises. That's picked off Hughes. Free real estate.
Yeah.
And is able to send it down.
No cross-court one-hand passes. That's just a bad play.
Coaching 101.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you know.
I'm sorry. I'm used with them bald head guys. You know how it is.
Got one strand more than that. Walsh having himself a day.
Get you a roster spot, young fella.
And what if I want to change my plan? State Farm's here to help. What if I want to change sports?
Newcomer Chris Paul is maintaining a narrow lead in these final meters. But here comes an opponent closing the gap, 1 foot in front of the other. They are battling it out. And Chris Paul edges ahead. Those are the hips of a champion.
At State Farm, we're there for your what ifs. Get a quote today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. At DriveTime.com, we've been hard at work.
And we finally did it.
Did you make it so I can finally shop at thousands of cars with no hit to my credit?
Wait. Yes! Go to DriveTime.com, get approved with no credit hit. Go to DriveTime.com, get approved, and shop your real terms with no credit hit. Overwatch, I have him.
Listen up. An American operative is missing. He is a master of infiltration, deception, and psych warfare. Do not consider him secure unless you have driven a wooden stake through his open heart.
Ethan, the world's coming after you. You need to pick a side. Stay out of my way.
Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. Rated PG-13. When your child starts getting into everything, you may need a little help. So Duracell created the only lithium-coin batteries with a bitter coating to help discourage swallowing.
Welcome back for the action between the Celtics and the Magic. And if you're looking at the Orlando Magic, they have been building their roster based off of a lot of youth. You can see Paolo Banchero, last year's NBA Rookie of the Year, top 8 scorers, all age 25 or younger.
That's good, but it also could be a little perplexing from the standpoint of I've got a theory. I just think a team doesn't take that next step really until that core of young players sign that second contract.
Okay.
Because, you know, when you first come into the league, you know that. First thing is, I want to prove myself. Second, I want to prove my status in the league. And third, I want to get that nice contract. And that's when, after that, that's when things start to settle down. And then guys start understanding, okay, now I've got the contract. Let's figure out how we can win and compete for a championship.
I mean, but entering the draft, though, for Orlando was in control of 9 first-round picks. That's over the next 7 drafts.
Yeah. And they don't have room for that many guys, you know.
Okay.
They don't.
But it's nice to have it in your back pocket because, well,
It is,
You're
but
looking
now
at
you
everybody.
got to use them. And what are you going to do with a roster of 11 or 12 first-round picks? Because you know this, whether you're the number 1 pick or you're the 20th pick, you all think you're going to be the next Michael Jordan or LeBron James. You know that.
I hope they don't.
I know so.
Jordan. So with these two guys here, with Anthony Blackjet Howard, obviously coming from great families that have made their names.
Look at the players in front of them.
Yes.
Look at all the guards. Orlando, the last 3 years, have drafted point guards. So it's one or two questions. Either they drafting the best player available at their spot, or they're not too pleased with that position.
Jamal Mosley will have some young talent to work with.
But at a certain point, Andrew, you have to make the picks. And you can have all these young guys, and at a certain point, you start repeating guys playing. So they need to thin that roster out because, look at the guards. Folks who played well for them. You got Black, you got Suggs, who was what, like the third or fourth pick? Anthony, Greg's son, Cole Anthony, who's played well for him. So when you look at this team, I love it, but look at all this young talent, and at some point, you can't pay them all. You gotta establish your pecking order because right now, that's what all these guys trying to do.
Dreams on the line, though. Hungry. You've watched them over the summer league, have been really connecting with one another, and I think that's really important too. I think Black was telling Lauren too how I've gotten to know these guys over the last 2 weeks, and that's a big part of it as well. What you're doing when you're not inside the lines.
That's really important because that's what builds chemistry. Chemistry is not only built on the court, but a lot of times it's built off the court. It's when you start learning your teammates in different ways other than basketball.
Well, they're off the mark. That's brought in once again Davison behind the back. Oh boy!
Oh, great pass.
That got some oohs and ahs.
Say what, Davison is not bad. He handled himself well. He shot the ball well. That pass behind the back was very nice right there. So again, Boston got some good young players in this summer league. Question is, are there enough roster spots?
Yeah, there you go. Last season had some experience with Boston, signed a 2-week contract with them and appeared in 12 games.
Kind of reminds me of Marcus Smart, his build.
But when you say Marcus Smart, I immediately think about your prowess on the defensive end.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's that
And leadership.
mentality, the leadership in the locker room. What is he bringing? Yes.
I think for me, Marcus Smart, he changed that culture in Boston when he called out Jaylen Brown and Tatum. And he did it in a right way. He talked about first how special those guys' talent is, but he also talked about unless they learn to play together, then it's just going to be button heads all the time. And once those two guys figure it out, we just talked about it. Boston Celtics last 5 years, other than winning the championship, they've done everything.
Had the third most playoff wins. That's 103 over the 15 years since their last title. So they're really trying to get over the hump. As at the mark, 0.2 left on the clock. And Hughes was able to get that one. And that will do it. Boston with an impressive second quarter.
We may be fast track for 100 points. You never know.
I mean, the threes have been raining. And we need a lot of rain. It's hot in Vegas.
We need some cold rain.
We love our house.
It's on a great block, Tree-Line Street.
The neighbors are observant.
And we're back at the Sullivan house.
It's lawn day, Sheila, and the leaves are piling up.
Bit of an eyesore.
I'll say.
Dry shave. Interesting technique.
That's going to come back to haunt him. Some people clean while they cook, not these folks. At least Geico makes bundling our home and car insurance easy.
Saves us a ton. If only they bundled the leaves. You know, I wouldn't have pegged these two as yogis.
I still don't.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com. Introducing new Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Music to my ears. You don't have ears. Starry, it's different.
Hey, check this out. You can pre-qualify with CarMax fast and easy. Did you just block me?
I was protecting your credit score.
Pre-qualifying with CarMax has no impact to your credit score.
Sorry, force a habit.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Granger, we're here for you, with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Can a handyman fix my leaky faucet? How much does it cost to have my HVAC checked? How do I know I have mold? What do water pipes make? Home questions don't have to keep you up at night. Get peace of mind with Thumbtack. We'll connect you with local pros for any home project, from a small fix to a big remodel. See transparent prices, read verified reviews, and book with just a tap. Thumbtack, the easy way to care for your home.
This copyrighted broadcast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA.
Welcome back to the NBA 2K24 Summer League, where our halftime score is Boston up 43 over Orlando, who's marked at 34 now. To take a listen to the best of Summer League from the past week here in Las Vegas.
Gets bigger and bigger every year. Victor Wembanyama, angular, agile, sinewy, and smooth. Harlow, Wemby for three, butter. 27 for the #1 pick out of France. How about Henderson rocking the basketball on the reverse? Second gear. Now you're showing me something special. Throws one up in the air. Smith caught it for the win. An improbable Summer League opening victory.
Well, I just got a welcome to the NBA moment right there.
Thompson with the steal. Two on one. Back to Thompson. Oh, and a reverse. Dunk for Thompson. And now you see why there's excitement. Shaden Sharp says, "Look out a poster, big fella." Oh, man! Champagne detonates.
But Chipino again, another bucket.
Impenetrable in the paint.
I'm trying to be better than every guy before me.
Yeah, a couple of players that are matching the heat outside, saying they can bring their own. We'll be back with a couple of stats after the break. Make sure you stand by. Give me a hot pink cosmopolitan and some drama.
Give me a guitar one for that. Twist a twist. Give me an early morning tea time and a Bloody Mary with Kettle One vodka.
Give me a cocktail with Kettle One vodka. I got a good feeling about this. Yeah, I'm with it. I got a good feeling about this. Yeah, so let's get it. I'm feeling good vibes.
Buying a house is complicated and confusing, especially now. That's why who you work with matters.
Together with HomeLight, we find solutions for every buyer. Our team helps you get the home you love every time. Yeah, this league is a sisterhood. It's way more than just a game. It's an empire. A fearless empire. More side swiping stills? Check. We got hoops, drive, and passion. Easy. More buckets, extra sauce? Order up. More dimension defying dimes, more dancing than a Saturday night. Now this is what I call prime time. You see that?
Guys, got hair loss? I know what you're thinking. Should I shave my head? Comb it over? Wear a hat? Just stop. This is 1970. Keep your hair and your confidence because Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration experts, can give you your real hair back permanently. Check them out now and make the most of their limited time summer savings. Scan the code and they'll even give you a free information kit and a free gift card. Dude, you don't have to look like your dad because this isn't your dad's hair loss treatment. People all over the country trust Bosley because they're ahead of the curve. They use the latest technology to give you your real hair back. And the best part, Bosley's permanent solution is protected by the Bosley Guarantee. Don't wait. Let Bosley show you how awesome your hair could look with a free information kit and a gift card for $250 off. Scan the QR code now and ask about Bosley's summer savings.
Welcome back to the NBA 2K24 Summer League here in Las Vegas. Celtics with the edge over Orlando 43-34. And get things done went on a 6-0 run to end the first half. Outscored Orlando 27-14 in that second frame. I'm Angel Gray alongside Sam Mitchell. When you're looking at how they were able to adjust, I think it comes down to the leadership. But Jordan Walsh definitely set the tone for how they needed to finish that first half.
Yeah, he's had an outstanding summer. I mean, he's got to be pleased with the way he's played this year. I mean, it starts on the defensive end. If you're going to play for the Boston, look at this energy. He's picking up full court. He's getting his hands on deflection. And that three-point shot, if he can knock down that shot at around a 39 to 40% clip, he is going to be a made man in Boston. I love his tenacity, his toughness, his defense. And he's going to fit right in with Jaylen Brown, Tatum, those long, athletic forwards who can shoot the rock.
Drafted second round, 38th overall in this year's draft by the Sacramento Kings, then traded to Boston. So this is an opportunity for him to really step up, but he's been showing out so far tonight. Only player for Boston in double figures, sitting at 10 points right now. The two triples that we saw in the second quarter. And he's been able to do that in 11 minutes.
You don't think Boston kind of thinning that roster out a little bit because they sitting there thinking they may have to pay Jaylen Brown about $287 million. Ooh, I love this country. Ooh, I love it. You go to bed one day and you wake up the next day and somebody drops $200+ million.
He's eligible.
He's earned it.
Yes, absolutely.
If I was the Boston Celtics, I would not hesitate. I would sign that young man because, again, look at the success the Boston Celtics have had since he and Tatum been in the uniform.
That's true. Eligible to sign that 5-year, $295 million.
Ooh, I shortchanged him.
You did.
And that's our homie, dude, from Georgia, right?
Yes.
Well, guess what he can do? He can split the difference that we made a mistake on and just split it between you and I. You know what? I even give you more.
I appreciate it, Coach.
I'm not greedy. Not for that much money.
All right, to the casino.
Stop.
Stay lucky.
And you gonna turn around and give it away?
Well, you know.
Look at you. You're a gambler. You better watch you.
So this is the largest lead for Boston. As you talked about it, Jaylen Brown has been so impressive alongside Jason Tatum. That deal, if he is extended, that would go through the 2028-29 season.
And think about this. He's still a young man. He's in his mid-20s. Ooh. We need to close the door on that one again, Dennis.
I like that Dennis shot.
I like the shot. I just wish you would hit some iron.
That one on the other side, though. That one falls.
And see, this is another thing, boss. They need guys who can shoot because with Tatum and Brown, you know teams are going to load up to try to stop those guys.
Yes.
So the more shooters they can put around those guys, they can do other things besides shoot, play defense, rebound, make plays. It's going to make them a very good team.
So Elijah Hughes answers the bucket. On the other side, Justin Bean was able to finish it. As we have a loose ball foul, that's going to go the other way. And Magic will get it back. So Jordan Walsh now picks up his third personal foul.
You can't foul on something.
I know, so it's not even really a big thing.
I think I once had a player have like 16 fouls or something.
16
like that.
fouls?
Yeah, I got so angry I just left him out there. You know, just get enough fouls for everybody.
Well, I would say he did.
Oh, yes, he did.
And that's enough.
You know, when he got to 12, we started reminding him, you know, you got 12 fouls.
Build good habits.
Yeah, I made a mistake there because I landed on the side of bad habits by keeping him out there.
So my question is, even in that, was there any game, regular season, that he fouled out? No?
Did he? Of course he did.
Well, there you have it.
People find out you commit 16 fouls in summer league. Trust me, when the regular season comes, they're going to come at you.
Yes,
You know we as coaches, we like cheap points.
I like it.
And free throws are cheap points.
You see Dylan Murphy leading the way for Atlanta Magic for the Summer League. Head coach of the Osceola Magic for the G League. Spent the last 5 seasons with Orlando.
Boston playing some zone in summer
You
league.
like the switch? It's legal now.
It is. I mean, if it's legal, you got to use everything in your toolbox to win games.
Because I tell you what, that's where a lot of teams in the finals had an issue with Miami. And that one sent completely out of bounds.
But Miami was getting them. But Miami was playing kind of like a hybrid boxing one, triangle two, something like that. And they did it so they can get their shooters on the floor.
Justin Bean, that's the second triple.
And you know what, though? Keep shooting it well like that, Bean, because if Boston don't have a spot, you see all these scouts in here?
Yes.
And everybody likes shooters besides.
In rhythm.
Yes.
Weatherspoon, oh man.
Kind of reminds me of Duncan Robinson, his build.
I like that
Yeah.
comparison, actually. That's a good comparison.
Kind of looks like him a little bit. Shoot it. You made 2 in a row.
He said, no, let me show you off the glass. Didn't work out too well,
That's why
but I
I shoot it. Here's Bean right here spotting up for that corner jump shot. Nothing but the bottom of the net. Keep shooting it, young fella. I would like to see him come off some screens and take some little tougher shots. You know, NBA players can make wide open shots, but I want to see can he make some shots with the defense running at him, challenging it. Some tough NBA shots.
Okay.
Overcommitted too much.
And that's what happens. So Weatherspoon now with 11 points. The second player in double figures for Orlando. Elijah Hughes with 13. 10-point ball game for the Celtics, though.
Nice
Davidson.
play. He traveled.
And that would have been nice because he got a nice little pump fake.
If you're going to turn your Witherspoon out in transition, those are type baskets I like.
So,
The
folks,
easier the better.
so you talked about no one being able to foul out. We'll get back to that as well. But also, turnovers, a big thing.
Well, you expect that in someone.
Okay.
You know, you got guys learning to play with each other. You got guys trying to put their best foot forward, trying to make plays. So you're going to have more turnovers than you normally do.
Well, Dexter Dennis on the other side. His first triple of the day has 7 points. 8-0 run now for Orlando.
You blocked the first one. You're not going to get that one. Good backdoor cut by Bean. Just move without the ball. The defender turned his back and
And here comes Ross. Look out.
yes, defense. This young man's a one-man press. How many forwards do you see pick up 94 feet the way he's picking up? You just don't see that.
You said these guys are tired. He doesn't look it.
You know, you're free to mind. Everything else will follow.
I like it. Short on the shot. Baker the second with the finish.
Good job, Baker.
So Davidson putting everybody in their spots. Didn't like the three, sends it off. Hit another triple.
Top shot.
Those are the looks that you like. Davidson saying, I'm gonna turn down this shot for an even better shot. They get the triple.
And this Boston Celtics team is what? 1 and what in summer league?
They are 1-3.
Ooh.
Lost Miami, Washington,
You would
and New
think
York.
that the way they're playing today and shooting the ball.
Maybe they just needed a wake-up call. You know? So the Celtics, 6-9 in that quarter. Got Rhett Howard after the break. Give me a hot pink cosmopolitan and some drama.
Give me a kettle one soda. Twist a twist. Give me an early morning tea time and a Bloody Mary with Kettle One vodka.
Give me a cocktail with Kettle One vodka. Look, the world is a big place where beauty takes many forms. Stories have many sides, and truth finds its way through the camera's lens. For more than 25 years, we've reflected the world as it is and captured the beauty of what it can be. Our three unique brands have one distinct goal: to move the world. Just take a look.
So you want to be great? First, believe you are. Greatness requires drip, not like that, like this. Because greatness isn't about what you've done, it's about what you do next.
Come on, let's go! We're not done! The sky is the limit for her. She is feeling it right now. Walk in looking like money. I am the one that they wanted. You already know how we come in with all of the
Going for the dive.
She's back. Yeah, I'm feeling it, I'm feeling it. Back here in the steamy Las Vegas, and I get to be joined by a fellow Michigan alum. And Jet Howard, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Go Blue.
Go Blue, baby. You love to see it. How's your first summer league experience been going for you?
I mean, it's been good. Just learning every other game and just getting more comfortable. It's been good.
I want to take you back to draft day a couple weeks ago. When you heard your name called 11th overall, what goes through your mind, and how does your dad react to that too?
Just like a feeling of relief, honestly, and then like it's hard to wrap your brain around. It's just so surreal. Like all your work has been for that moment. So, and just have my dad there, just him happy as well. He went through that whole process too, so it was a good experience.
It's incredible. Congratulations, first of all. I'm excited to see you play this season, but let's talk about your dad and your relationship for a second. I read an article that you were saying he's pushed you so hard conditioning-wise over the last couple months. Take me through what that's been like for you.
It was rough. I mean, he just understood like the pre-draft process and like all those workouts that you have to do to get drafted. So he just wanted to make sure I was prepared. So we were just in the gym pretty much every day, just working out. Seeing a new side of my father for that time, and it worked off. It paid off.
Yeah. What is that relationship like? Because sometimes it's a father, sometimes it's a coach. What's that been like for you?
I mean, it's hard. Like people are lying with they're not saying it's not hard to kind of differentiate those two. But I mean, like I didn't really look at him like too much as a dad when he's in work mode. But as soon as he gets home, he just flips it off. It's the weirdest thing ever.
It's really cool to watch, honestly. I know we have to go to break right now, but maybe on the other side we can catch you too. So
Sure.
We're sending it to break here. We'll be right here coming up on the other side. Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win. Sometimes we try to fit it all in. Sometimes we don't know what's in store. Sometimes we find what we're looking for. Sometimes we're rolling easy and free. Sometimes 1 and 1 makes 3. So much to love along this ride. That's why Nationwide is on your side.
Finally cracked this Jimmy John summer wraps case wide open. All right, what do you got, eh? Cracks wide open. Greens analyzing flavors. Voila!
He's good. Is he? Jimmy John's summer wraps are back for a limited time. What did I say about using my Old Spice dry spray?
I need one less thing. Baby D, we all family. Your lavender is our lavender. Remember when we used to steal his Old Spice body lotion? Used to.
The Big Podcast is all about the love.
Only know one love, tough love.
Uncovering mysteries.
Your beard somehow black again.
Setting the record straight.
I'm not cross-eyed.
With Shaq and the crew, nothing is off limits.
We don't be trying to go viral, we just be trying to keep it real.
This is what y'all get every week on the Big Podcast with Shaq.
This copyrighted broadcast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA.
Well, welcome back. Our interview with Jen Howard had to come to a close because there was a challenge on the floor.
I was hating that Michigan Love Fest.
Oh, well, okay. I was like, wait a minute, Laura was doing some great.
Do you get the Love Fest from your school?
I did.
I know I don't ever get it from Mercer, baby.
Hey, guys, go
because
Blue,
nobody
baby.
Mercer will play them.
I was really trying to look after you. No, thank you. I was just talking to Jet too, and I'm like, what is up with Orlando and my Michigan men? But you love to see it. You love the connection. Go Blue. All right, babe. How do we cut her mic?
Can we?
Anytime. And honestly, our producer
Upon
guys.
review, the Boston Challenge is unsuccessful. The defensive player gets directly in his path prior to the shooter's upward shooting motion. Offensive foul stands. Boston loses the ability to challenge for the remainder of the game, and they're charged this time out.
I like that. So if you get your rule, all right.
If you win it, you get it back. But here's what they were looking at, saying the charge stands. They didn't think that it was. I'm not sure if it was footing or if they.
Well, maybe they saw his heel off the ground, but
Mhm.
once you establish legal position, my heel being up off the ground, what does that mean? I mean, he's there, he beat the guy to the spot,
Mhm.
it's a charge.
But that
Good
is
call by
a
the
rule
official.
change too, and
And it's hard for me to say that. Good
What?
call for the officials.
so you were tough on the officials.
What? I'm still looking for him. That's just, look, that's like cats and dogs. Come on. It's the nature of the beast.
It's a great relationship
It
that needs to
is.
be established
It is.
because then you teach your players too how to approach the officials,
Yes,
and then
you have
hey,
to. You have
see
to.
Tom Cruise in the building.
Tom is out watching some league basketball.
I like it.
Tom coached at Georgia Bulldogs for a while.
I bet he can give the officials a hard time.
I've been around Tom. He did.
Nice take on the inside.
Ain't as crazy as you may think I was. I very rarely got thrown out of the game. And I very rarely got a check. Because I learned early as a player, they don't give the money back.
That's true.
And they don't change the call.
They do not change it.
There you go.
That is a fact.
And I had to always explain to my mother while I was paying so much money in technical fouls, she thought that was just the dumbest thing. You worked all your life to make
You
this
did.
money, now you're giving it away.
Wise woman.
Yes.
Vincent Bowden. As we're left in 4 minutes.
Orlando going a little deep in that bench.
Only 5 bench points from Orlando in this game. And now it's completely eaten up on the inside.
Boston getting out running a little bit.
Still now with the block underneath, asking for it underneath. Might be a mouse in the house.
Brother. That's my only concern with some bigs. They're more comfortable shooting the face-up three than playing with the back to the basket, but they get a look out. Oh!
I felt like we needed a piece of paper to hold up a score after that one.
Yes. Ooh. That would have
Wait a
been
minute.
nice. Look at this.
Oof.
Mm.
Level of difficulty about 8.5, 9.
Probably more than that, because that's something I can never do. Hell,
If that's the gauge, then
hey,
I got
I
you.
dreamed about the plays like that.
Once again,
Yes.
Wow. At the rim, the way you said you wanted to see him play.
I want to see bigs finish in the paint. Look, it's great that you've added that three-point shot, but at the end of the day, go back to the playoffs. When you get deep into the playoffs, those three-pointers stop falling, and teams start looking for twos and mismatches because of all the switches.
Now with 8 points, Boston on an 8-0 run, looking to finish the three-point play, and does.
He has a nice touch for a big guy.
Yeah, and
Nice
free
off
throw.
touch. Yeah.
Yeah. Smooth in rhythm.
Yes.
So I can see why you want him in the paint, because if
Well,
you
I
just
just
step up
want
to
to
the free throw line.
Yeah, I want to see all of his game. You know what I mean?
Undrafted in 2019 after a 5-year collegiate career at Northwestern State.
Boston started to stretch the thing out a little bit
Boston
because of
play-
their defense.
As you said, I love the defense in the first period, and now we're seeing it in the third.
So what if I want to change my plan? State Farm's here to help. What if I want to change sports?
Newcomer Chris Paul is maintaining a narrow lead.
At State Farm, we're there for your what ifs. Get a quote today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Eli Manning, welcome to the fine life. Doesn't get any better than this. Be a shame if it rained, though. And that's why I brought these. Boop, boop, boop. See? Now they're protected. These are very cute. I'm also loving these dinky umbrellas. Wait, Andy, what's wrong? I'm not sad. It's just really validating to hear such positivity, you know? Wow, that's real. Yeah. I don't know how I'm gonna drink this now. It was your idea to bring the umbrella. Yeah, I didn't think it through.
I got a good feeling about this. Yeah, I'm with it. I got a good feeling about this. Yeah, so let's get it. I'm feeling good vibes. floor and in full display here for the Summer League for this year, and it's been a lot of fun to watch the future of the NBA. And when I say future, I mean the number 1 overall draft pick, Victor Wembanyama, putting on a show. Only played 2 games. The second one showed out defensively. I don't know how anyone can shoot over him.
When you can block someone 3-point attempt 5 feet behind the line. But this is what I love about him. In this second game, he showed all his skill set. The passing, shooting off the dribble, the left-handed shot, the dunks, the defense. He showed us everything that we've expected to see. And this young man, I think he's all that in a bag of chips. And I think he's going to put this league on his heels because, again, just defensively, and just like you just said, I've never seen guys that can block 3 when the guy shooting 5 feet behind the line.
Like, how can you even categorize that length?
You're always going to be looking. Where is he? Where is he? And you know that within itself is defense, because if you got guys focused on everything but that rim, it's going to be hard to make those shots.
And it's so interesting how people were a little concerned after that first call, only scoring 9 points. It's like, let him get settled.
It's Summer League. It's the first game. And the thing I loved about it, though, it's assessment. I got a lot to learn. You know, the game's faster, more physical. But he's a quick learner because he came back in the second game and played lights out.
Absolutely. Definitely a special player in San Antonio.
He's with the right organization, right city, the right coach. Because think about if he was in New York, he would never be able to go leave his house. San Antonio, when people get comfortable with him, I played in Minneapolis. Prince, Kirby, Puckett, Kevin Garnett, they can walk down the street. People say hi. They have a life outside of basketball. San Antonio, that's the perfect environment for this young man to grow and develop without all the spotlight of being in a Boston or LA or New York.
But I think, too, just the mentorship that he can get as well. You talked about Coach Pop, but you got Duncan and the Admiral.
That picture?
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yes, Tim Duncan,
Like,
David
how awesome
Robinson,
is that?
Sean Elliott, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, all Hall of Famers.
Yes.
And the thing I love about it, great human beings. That's, to me, more important than what you do on the basketball court. Because that translates over to the court.
I think the one thing that I can say about him, yes, he's been showing out. We've seen it overseas and then now in the Summer League, but his professionalism. And you talked about him just being accountable for the first game, saying, I really wasn't aware of what was going on. I didn't have a lot of practice days. I'm stepping on the court. But how he handles himself. And this is in a time, too, where social media, everyone has an opinion. And he's handled himself so well, and a great example.
Well, he's a pro. I mean, the European League, I played in France for the first 2 years. After I played in the CBA, France is a good league. A lot of talent, a lot of American players come over there and play. A lot of naturalized American players. So he played in a good league. He was a professional, and he carries himself that way.
All right, well, don't miss USA Basketball live in Las Vegas at T-Mobile Arena on Monday, August 7th. To the USA men's national team take on Puerto Rico before they continue their journey to the 2023 FIBA Men's World Cup. Get your tickets today at usa.com/tickets.
Now, I'm going to ask you this question. Are you coming back out in August? Hey, look.
Let me answer a little.
My bald head can't take it. I would say my hair can't take it, but the bristles on top of my head can't take it. They're 90.
And someone had the nerve to have the seat warmer on when you got in the car. Unbelievable.
Can you believe that?
I can't.
Stephanie set me up. Then
Stephanie Reddy is such an incredible human being, and I just didn't see it coming. And
I only talk about Stephanie behind her back. I'm not going to talk about Stephanie to her face.
I think that's a very wise decision.
Stephanie don't play. I heard her talking on the phone to her children one night, putting them to bed. I would have got in bed. She scared me so. I would have got in bed. She's like, Coach, we can do a show.
That's awesome. And the first 2 games?
Look at Bean. Oh, nice.
So Justin Bean, you mentioned it. I want to see him shoot. Stick to your skill set, but him putting the ball off the hardwood, what does he show me?
Because again, once you establish yourself as a shooter, you already know what teams are going to do. They're going to run you off that 3-point line. Now the next question, can you finish or can you make a play for your team? I find it hard to believe. Boston 1-3?
1-3. Mark Baldwin.
I mean, their defense has been outstanding.
And that's where it really starts with. As you can see, a little bit more of the bench for Orlando in the game at this point outside of Baker II. But Boston, it looks like a team connected.
Yes.
Final seconds of the third period. Quick. Side almost had a response with back-to-back buckets. And the Celtics outscored the Magic by 11 in that quarter. So stringing quarters together. Playing team ball.
That ball, when it transition pulls up, you know, I love left-handed shooters. They can let it go.
So you want to be great? First, believe you are. Greatness requires drip, not like that. Like this. Because greatness isn't about what you've done. It's about what you do next.
And what if I want to switch up my plan? State Farm's here to help. What if I want to switch up my look?
I'm going back to back to back to back.
All right. At State Farm, we're there for your what ifs. Get a quote today. Like a good State Farm is there.
If you've been injured in an accident that's not your fault and you don't have an attorney, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to tell you what your case is potentially worth. Hello, I'm Gina, along with spokesperson Rob. Rob, tell the folks at home who should be calling right now.
Well, just like you said, Gina, anyone who's been injured in an accident that was not your fault, you don't have an attorney, give us a call right now, and we're going to let you know what your case is potentially worth.
Thanks, Rob. So what kind of calls have we been seeing today?
Well, Gina, we're getting calls from all types of accidents today. Work accidents, slip and falls, truck accidents, and most commonly, car accidents. So if you were injured in an accident that was not your fault, you don't have an attorney, take that first step, pick up that phone and give us a call. We're going to answer your questions, and we'll let you know how much money you can get for your accident.
Thanks, Rob. All right, folks at home, you heard it. Go ahead, don't hesitate, take that first step and call now. Back here in Las Vegas, start of the fourth quarter, Boston Celtics up 20 right now. Let's talk about Jordan Wall. She has 12 points in 16 minutes so far today. I got to talk to him before the game, and he told me one of the biggest things he's learned so far in Summer League is everybody has a role on the team. He said we've all learned how to work together really, really well. And I also asked about his experience growing up and playing with Anthony Black at Arkansas and being together in Dallas. And he said, honestly, we've been talking about this for the last 10 years, making it to the NBA, making it to the league. And he said to be able to live out this dream separately but also together is such a dream come true. And guys, what an awesome experience for them to both be, I know Anthony Black's not playing, but both be in the same arena on different teams, making their dreams become a reality. Pretty cool.
It is, Lauren. I mean, this is where many dreams come true, and you look at some of these young guys, the way they're establishing themselves, the way they're playing. This is just the first step in many as establishing themselves as NBA players.
I think the thing to add to that, Coach, too, is that dream doesn't come true without the work being put in.
You got to put the work in. You got to grind. And that's the thing I think people, you got to have talent, but talent without hard work equals nothing. Ben Hogan, a golfer, and you would like this, you're golfing. You know, they asked him, he said, the harder I work, the luckier I get. Now think about that. I live by that. The harder I work, the luckier I get, because his whole thing was, good luck comes to those who prepare. You have to put yourself in position for that good work to pay off. What is Boston going to do with all this size? When you look at Azubuike, you look at Robert Williams, you look at Al Horford, you look at Porzingis, who's 7'2". I mean, what are they going to do? They got size galore.
Well, look into, like, Udoka Azubuike underneath. He only has 6 points in this game, but with the efficiency, because he's perfect from the field, do you wonder how he can get more involved on the inside?
But you don't really have to, that space.
Okay.
Think about this.
Okay.
Somebody got to box him out because he's going to the glass every time. He just creates space and size problems. And, you know, we saw in the playoffs, size can engulf teams. And the Denver Nuggets did that with their size at every position.
Really close to getting the block at the rim there. Miller working the baseline, tries to connect, sends it the other way. Jeffries has one to beat, and just short on the
He got
layup.
deep. It is hard. coming out here, haven't played all game, trying to put your best foot forward. This is a stressful. It's fun for us, but for the players, it is stressful. Because you know, some of these players are thinking about my entire career rests on what I do this week and a half in some of these.
And you've been able to experience both. You talked about your time in France and even how that prepares you. So
Played in CBA too.
love it.
Have a CBA championship ring. Can you believe it?
I love
And
it.
I still have it. I don't wear it. I still have it.
Oh, so I was just about to say the CBA ring.
Yeah, it was black here gold, though. I'm sure I kind of question what the percentage of real gold in that ring.
So it wasn't the Summer League ring.
Some of these rings look a whole lot better than my ring.
Okay.
I'm kind of scared to wear it too, but make sure my fingerprints.
Oh no.
Just being cautious.
Okay.
Just being cautious.
All right. I like the cautiousness. Celtics not being cautious at all. They had put on a complete show in the second and third quarter where they just took the reins a bit on the offensive end. Offense was hard to come by. At the beginning of this game was a 0-12 start from the field.
I just think, though, you look at Brad Stevens, look at the Summer League team, look at the team that he's continually building in Boston. He's finding guys that fit the mold. Smart, tough-minded, play defense, can shoot, make each other better.
How do you see Porzingis?
Oh, I love it. I mean, you're talking about a 7'2" guy that can stretch the floor like shoot threes. He can play at a 17-foot range and shoot over people. He could be a defensive player on a team that I thought Boston kind of lost their identity last year defensively. They wasn't as good as they've been in the past. And I'm a Marcus Smart fan, but I understand moving Marcus Smart because he's going to force Tatum and Brown to take a more vocal leadership role. And I think also for a young coach in Joe Mazzulla, I think Marcus, it could be tough on a young coach. And I think this is going to give Joe Mazzulla a chance to establish himself and find his voice as a young coach.
Absolutely. I love how he handled even being down 0-3 in the finals and understanding that too.
The way the job came to him, having to take over in a different situation, not letting his team quit, to your point, down 0-3. And who knows, if Tatum don't sprain that ankle in the first quarter, they may have done something no team in the history has done.
Absolutely.
Come back from 0-3. Because clearly, I don't care what anyone says, they were the more talented team.
I think everyone.
I mean, I think Miami would say it.
I think so. Absolutely. You can take a look at their last four coaches. You mentioned Brad Stevens, still a part of the franchise as well in the front office, and Joe Mazzulla, as you mentioned, with Ime Udoka being let go from the franchise, but has handled it well. One of the youngest coaches in the
and you're coaching a championship caliber team with strong-minded veterans on that team. So it is tough being a young coach.
As a Buki, protecting the paint on the inside, showing us a defensive effort he's given on today. Baker the second finds the bottom. Now has 12 points. Oh!
That's how you do it.
I think that's it.
Yeah. The book can show you how to do it. Finish with both hands.
Valerio Bowden just missed the mark.
He needed about one more inch in that lip.
Hardy gets the rebound. As Jeffries couldn't respond with the three, and you've seen a lot of three balls going up because at this point, with 21-point lead for the Celtics, trying to put things together. But everyone wants to see the dunk.
Absolutely. Yeah, and this is a tough move. And just a power move in a crowd. That's a grown man move.
YouTube TV is more than cable for less than cable. And who doesn't like more? Just ask anyone who loves basketball. And they'll tell you. There's no such thing as too much of it. Watch more games at once with Multiview on YouTube TV. YouTube TV, it's more than cable for $600 less than cable. Try it for free.
When your child starts getting into everything, you may need a little help. So Duracell created the only lithium coin batteries with a bitter coating to help discourage swallowing.
Hey, I'm inside the bank. What? I don't have much time. Where's the $500? I said drop your bank and get Dave. The banking app? What? There's an easier way. Oh, she going to jail. You can get up to $500 in 5 minutes or less when you download Dave. You know CarMax has a 30-day money-back guarantee on every car they sell.
Yep, they named it after me.
No, they didn't.
It's my nickname. Steph 30-day money-back guarantee Curry.
Nobody calls you that. Anyone who's ever sold a home will tell you it's really hard. And it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. That's why who you work with matters. Together with HomeRight, we take care of every detail.
Well, thanks for joining us, and the Summer League action continues tomorrow in Las Vegas on NBA TV, ESPN, and the ESPN app. Tomorrow, Brooklyn versus Cleveland. That's at 4. And then we have 3 on ESPN2, Utah, Houston, Miami, Portland, and as Coach mentioned, the Lakers and Clippers taking off. That'll be the last one at 10 p.m. Eastern, but everyone loves basketball all throughout the day. We've been able to call it. This is first of 3 games, but going back to Cleveland, sitting at the top of the rankings at this point, have not lost. Imani Bates with an opportunity.
Yes.
Isaiah Mobley, who has been impressive.
Yeah, he's got this thing about twins on the same team. I like that. I can just tell people as a father of twins, don't get in the middle of their disagreement. Don't do it. If those 2 guys have a disagreement in practice, leave it alone and let them settle it, because if you stick your nose in it, they're both going to turn on you. My twin daughters, oh my God. Those twins are something else.
I felt like it was a scarring moment for you, so that was coming from from the.
It was an education moment. They taught me well. Leave twins alone. It's 2 of them.
Yeah, you're outnumbered.
Yeah.
Baldwin gets a bucket there, now in double figures with 10 points. What's impressed you most about how Boston has been able to play today?
Well, just their ability to defend, get out and play the pass lane, their ability to make each other better with their passing. And now we're watching them switch their defense. They went from tough man-to-man defense to now playing a very aggressive. They're not playing a laid-back zone. They're playing an aggressive zone to take away 3-point attempts from this Orlando Magic team. So I'm just impressed with Boston. And always, that's why I keep asking you, are you sure this team 1-3?
That's what I got. That's understanding.
There's a disconnect somewhere.
I think sometimes you can't control when the light goes off.
That's true. That's true.
As Kasuma is at the free throw line for 2 from the charity stripe. Second trip to the free throw line. That one misses the mark. He was perfect before that. But I think, too, just
felt like Sam Perkins. Remember Sam?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, look at him.
Big leg.
Yeah, Sam. I played against Sam. All them elbows I ate from Sam for 13 years.
I think, too, going back to Boston is just how they've been able to share the ball. And when you come into Summer League, a lot of the ego is how can I make a name for myself? They've been able to look good together.
You know, it's important that you shoot well and play well and score, but just as important, do you make your teammates better? And in this setting, when everyone is trying really, really hard to put their best foot forward, it's hard to turn down a shot for a better shot. And that's something that coaches are looking for. Do you have the discipline to play the right way?
Valeria Bowden at the rim, and that's cleaned up.
Big fella, you can't miss when you're almost 7 feet. You can't miss wide open layups in the NBA.
But Sam Greasel, I got your back.
Yeah.
22 assists on 34 made field goals for Boston. We mentioned there's hot play from outside in the second quarter, outscored Orlando 27-14. Got 30 points in the third period as well.
We may break 100.
And can you believe it? The way the game started?
Yes, the way it started, it looked like the game was going to be in the 60s. And now the Celtics have a chance only 9 points away with 3.5 minutes to go, basically, to break that century mark.
A couple of players on Orlando that haven't dressed out for today's game. Eric Campbell, another player for Orlando out of UCLA, undrafted in this year's draft after 5 seasons there, but had a remarkable run to the Final Four in 2021. I was with the Cavs at the time, and watching that with Kevin Love and how excited he was for the program, that was really cool to see.
Yeah, it is. It takes me back to when Mercer beat Duke in the first round of the NCAA tournament. I was doing TV in Canada, and I was just joking. I said, if Mercer win that game, I would do an Irish jig on national Canadian TV. Sure enough, Mercer did win the game, and sure enough to my word, I got up and did an Irish, or my version.
Where's the tape of that? That's what the
I
people want
burned
to see.
it a long time ago. I burned that tape. I thought my Irish jig was decent. Yeah, I thought it was decent. I put a little soul in it, though, you know?
Well, you have that Irish gig. We'll be right back after the break here in Las Vegas. The thought of getting screened for colon cancer made me queasy.
But now I found a way that's right for me. Feels more easy.
My doc and I agreed. I picked the time. Today's a good day.
I screened with Cologuard and did it my way. Cologuard is a one-of-a-kind way to screen for colon cancer that's effective and non-invasive. It's for people 45 plus at average risk, not high risk. False positive and negative results may occur. Ask your provider for Cologuard.
I did it my way.
We love our house. The outdoor space is great, but we do have invasive weeds.
I think we got in the house.
I think you're right.
Stay away from my family.
Going back and forth about heading out or staying in? With Spotify Premium, you can download and take your music offline for whichever path you choose. Just download and pull up your playlists to keep the tunes flowing from one adventure to the next. Get 1 month of Spotify Premium free. Tap the banner to learn more.
Hey, it's Olivia Rodrigo. Listen to my new song Vampire on Spotify.
Click the banner to hear the full